They're small, copper-colored, and easy to ignore, but hiding among everyday coins are a few rare Lincoln pennies that could make you rich. You won't believe how much some of these are worth. In fact, one of them could be sitting in your pocket right now, quietly waiting to change your life. So make sure to watch the complete video, you won't want to miss a single coin on this list. Can a single penny change your life? Sounds crazy, right? But what if I told you that a coin most people overlook every single day could secretly be worth thousands of dollars? Yes, we're talking about the humble 1-cent coin, the 2016 penny without a mint mark. A coin you've probably held in your hand and tossed into a jar without a second thought. But here's the twist, some of these ordinary-looking coins have turned into highly sought-after treasures for collectors. And one in particular. It shocked the coin world when it surfaced, and trust me, you'll want to check your change after this. So stick with me, because what starts off as a simple coin story might just end with you discovering a fortune sitting in your pocket. To understand the true value of this coin, we need to go back a little, to a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning from classic coinage designs to something more symbolic of American values. The 2016 penny, part of the Lincoln Shield series, may not look very different at first glance. On the obverse, you'll see the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, a design that's been part of American coins since 1909. Flip it over, and there's the Union Shield, a bold and striking design introduced in 2010, meant to symbolize Lincoln's preservation of the United States during the Civil War. Now, here's where things get interesting. Most coins minted in Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark. So yes, the 2016 penny without a mint mark is technically normal. But not all normal coins are created equal. Some of these coins, because of the way they were struck or due to errors during the minting process, became incredibly rare, and that's where the value begins to soar. Imagine a small, almost invisible flaw, a slight misalignment in the die, a planchet error, or even a lamination issue. These are the details that coin collectors obsess over. And for the 2016 no mint mark penny, certain error varieties have become hot commodities. Some were struck off-center, others have double dies, or mysterious die cracks that resemble lightning bolts across Lincoln's face or the shield. Errors like these aren't just quirks, they're golden tickets in the world of numismatics. The people who discovered these special 2016 pennies didn't just get lucky. They paid attention. They examined their change, kept an eye out for the slightest imperfections, and knew what to look for. One coin, practically identical to billions of others, stood out because it had a strange texture and a ripple running across its surface. That tiny detail turned out to be a lamination error, a flaw caused by impurities in the metal. That particular coin, once certified and authenticated, became a collector's dream. Another penny had what's called a misplaced design element. Part of the shield detail actually appeared doubled, a sign of a double die. The coin itself looked ordinary at a glance, but under magnification, it told a very different story. And stories like these keep collectors searching, hunting, and hoping to find the next rare gem. Now let's talk numbers. Not exact numbers, of course, but the kind that raise eyebrows. These rare error coins have fetched thousands of dollars at auction. Imagine that. A coin with a face value of 1 cent, worth less than the paper it takes to print a receipt, being valued like a collector's item or even a small piece of art. It's the kind of unexpected windfall that keeps treasure hunters up at night. Here's the twist, not all of these valuable coins look damaged or deformed. In fact, many of them are in pristine condition, graded as mint state, meaning they've never been circulated or worn down. So you might be thinking, how could a coin this rare survive unnoticed for so long? The answer is surprisingly simple. These pennies were struck and released into circulation like any other. They were thrown into cash drawers, mixed in with spare change, dropped into couch cushions. They went unnoticed because they weren't flashy, until someone looked closer, and now, collectors are on high alert. More and more 2016 pennies are being scrutinized by experts and enthusiasts alike, trying to find another needle in the haystack. Coin shows, online auctions, collector forums, they're all buzzing with chatter about this unassuming penny and its mysterious rise to fame. But let's not forget the backstory of Lincoln's penny. It's more than just a coin. It's a symbol of resilience, unity, and the endurance of a nation. So when the US Mint introduced the Shield Reverse in 2010, it was making a statement about strength, about the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and about the ongoing journey of the American people. The 2016 penny is part of that legacy, and when combined with its rare errors, it transforms from currency into history. By now, you're probably wondering what to do next. The answer is simple: check your change. Seriously, go grab that old jar of coins, the stash in your car's cup holder, or that little tray in your kitchen drawer. Look closely at any 2016 pennies, especially the ones without a mint mark. Examine them under good light. Look for anything unusual, doubling of letters, strange ridges, odd shapes in the shield, anything that seems off. You might be holding on to something incredibly rare without even knowing it. Of course, finding one of these rare coins isn't guaranteed. That's part of the thrill. But if you do spot something odd, something that seems out of place, don't dismiss it. Get it checked by a professional. A coin grading service can verify authenticity and potentially certify it, boosting its value even more. Next up, we have a coin that might just catch you off guard. At first glance, it looks like any other penny, tiny, copper-toned, and often ignored at the bottom of a purse or between couch cushions. It's the kind of coin most of us wouldn't even stoop down to pick up. But don't be fooled. This 2006 1-cent piece is hiding a secret that has collectors buzzing and treasure hunters wide-eyed with curiosity. This isn't a commemorative coin. It's not silver, it's not gold, and it wasn't minted centuries ago. In fact, the US Mint produced over 5 billion of these pennies that year. Yes, billions. So why in the world would anyone pay a premium, let alone thousands of dollars? For one, here's where things get fascinating. The 2006 penny features the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln, a staple on American coinage for generations. On the reverse is the Lincoln Memorial, standing proud and detailed, a design that had been used since 1959. Nothing looks out of the ordinary, until you take a closer look. Because hidden among the masses are a handful of coins with flaws, and in the coin world, flaws often mean fortune. Now, let's talk about how that happens. Coins are made fast, lightning fast. Hundreds of coins per minute are punched, pressed, and spat out into bins. And during that chaotic process, sometimes the tiniest misalignment, metal flaw, or machine slip creates something rare, even beautiful in its own strange way. Some 2006 pennies came off the press with what's called an off-center strike. It's exactly what it sounds like. The design is shifted, sometimes just slightly, sometimes dramatically. A coin like that is a showstopper for collectors. The more off-center it is while still showing a date, the more valuable it becomes. Then you've got the double dies. On some coins, the date or lettering looks blurry or shadowed, almost like it was printed twice. That's not a trick of the light, it's an actual minting error. Collectors go wild over these. Why? Because they're visible, verifiable, and pretty uncommon, especially in this specific year. And then there are the planchet errors. Imagine a penny that was never supposed to exist, struck on the wrong metal blank, meant for another denomination entirely. These can slip through unnoticed until someone with a keen eye and a precise scale realizes something's off. They're like the genetic mutations of the coin world, and often worth far more than you'd expect. Even coins with no visible errors can be valuable, if they're in absolutely perfect shape. We're talking about mint state coins, ones that have never seen a single day of circulation. No scratches, no discoloration, no handling marks. Just flawless surfaces and deep, natural color. It may sound easy, but finding one in this condition, especially from a high mintage year like 2006, is like finding a needle in a haystack. What makes these coins special isn't just the errors or the perfection, it's the combination of rarity and timing. When collectors start to notice that a certain error or variety exists, demand spikes. Suddenly, something that was once ignored becomes a top prize, and that's exactly what happened with this penny. A collector spotted it, realized what they had, and sent it off for grading. It came back with a high grade and confirmation of a mint error. Word spread. Bidders lined up. What started as a regular, overlooked 1-cent coin soon became the centerpiece of a major auction. Now, I know what you're thinking: how much can a penny really be worth? Let me put it this way: it wasn't hundreds. It wasn't even just a few thousand. This coin, a 2006 Lincoln penny, the kind you might pass over on the ground, was ultimately sold for an astonishing $31,000. Yes. $31,000. For one penny. That's the power of rarity, condition, and a little bit of luck. It's a reminder that treasures don't always sparkle, they sometimes jingle at the bottom of a drawer or sit unnoticed in an old coin jar. So the next time you get change back at the store, take a second and flip through it. Don't just toss your pennies aside. Because buried among the ordinary might be something truly extraordinary, and who knows? That 1 cent you almost left behind might just be your ticket to a small fortune. But let's take that one step further, because stories like this are not just about coins. They're about awareness. Curiosity. The simple idea that value can exist in the most overlooked places. You don't need a metal detector or a deep knowledge of history. Sometimes, all you need is a little patience and a sharp eye. So keep looking. Keep searching. Because in the world of coin collecting, the next surprise isn't waiting in a museum, it's hiding in plain sight. Maybe in your wallet. Maybe in a dusty jar. Maybe even in the palm of your hand right now. Stick around, because we're just getting started. There are more surprising coins to uncover, and one of them might just blow your mind. Next rare penny on our list is one that might catch you completely off guard. Unlike the flashy coins with obvious mistakes or legendary backstories, this 2000 Lincoln penny quietly holds a subtle secret that's been hidden in plain sight for decades. At first glance, it looks like any other penny: small, copper-colored, and easy to dismiss. It's the kind of coin that barely gets a second glance when you dig through your change. But don't be fooled by its everyday appearance. There's a fascinating story beneath its surface that's been slowly making waves in the coin collecting world. The year 2000 was a time of transition, not just for the new millennium, but for how coins were produced. The U.S. Mint had introduced tighter quality controls, making certain errors much less common. But, as with any mass production process, perfection is almost impossible. A tiny, almost imperceptible mistake created what collectors now call a double-die penny. This means that during the coin striking, the die that imprinted the design onto the penny's metal blank struck twice with a slight shift. The result? A faint shadow or ghost-like doubling of the numbers and letters, particularly noticeable in the date and the word "Liberty." It's not obvious to the casual observer, but for those who know what to look for, it's a thrilling find. What makes this coin even more intriguing is how well some examples have been preserved. After being struck, most pennies enter circulation immediately, enduring wear from pockets, vending machines, and the hands of countless people. But some 2,000 pennies with this doubling error were never used. They were tucked away in collections, forgotten drawers, or carefully stored by collectors who recognized their potential early on. These coins remain in mint state condition, flawless surfaces, sharp details, and that original copper luster that almost seems to glow. The rarity of a double-die error combined with such high-quality preservation is what drives the coin's value through the roof. Collectors don't just want a penny, they want a piece of history that tells a story about the mint's manufacturing process and the quirks that make each coin unique. It's important to understand that the coin market is driven by demand, scarcity, and condition. When a new error like this is confirmed and publicized, excitement spreads fast. Collectors begin hunting for the coin, bidding wars ignite, and prices climb dramatically. Suddenly, a penny that most people would toss aside as loose change becomes a coveted collector's item. What's truly fascinating about coins like this is how they highlight the unpredictability of value. Who would have thought that something so small, something we use every day without a second thought, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars? It challenges us to rethink what value really means. Is it just about the metal, or is it about the story, the rarity, and the mystery behind it? And here's where the story gets really exciting. Recently, a 2000 Lincoln penny with this rare double-die error, in near-perfect condition, went up for auction. The bidding was fierce. Coin enthusiasts from all over recognized its value and rarity, pushing the price higher and higher. What started as an ordinary penny ended up selling for an eye-popping $40,000. That's right, $40,000 for a coin you might find in your pocket change. This incredible value illustrates the magic of numismatics, the study and collection of coins. It's a world where a tiny detail, invisible to most, can unlock enormous worth. It's a reminder that sometimes, the greatest treasures hide in the smallest places, and that patience, knowledge, and a little luck can turn something ordinary into something extraordinary. Think about that the next time you get change back at the store. Don't just glance and toss those pennies aside. Take a moment. Look closely. Run your fingers over the surface. Does anything look unusual? Maybe the date seems a bit blurry, or the letters have a slight shadow. Maybe the coin shines like it's never been touched. These small clues could lead you to a hidden gem, one that might just change your life. Beyond the monetary value, there's something truly special about holding a coin with a story. Every tiny imperfection, each doubling, tells a tale about the mint's machinery, the hands that made it, and the era it was produced in. It connects us to history in a way that few other objects can. You're holding a piece of time, a snapshot of an era, a blend of art and industry, and for collectors, that connection is priceless. It's not just about owning a coin, it's about owning a story, a mystery, and a piece of America's heritage. This penny may seem humble, but it carries the weight of history, and the excitement of discovery. So whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who enjoys the thrill of uncovering something special, the 2000 Lincoln penny is a shining example of how value can be hidden in the most unexpected places. It challenges us to look closer, to be curious, and to appreciate that sometimes, the smallest details hold the biggest secrets. Who knows? Maybe your next lucky find is waiting for you right now, in a dusty jar, under the couch cushions, or slipped between the pages of an old book. It might be just a simple penny, but with the right eye, it could be your ticket to something incredible. Keep your eyes open, stay curious, and remember, every penny has a story. And some stories are worth a fortune. Next up, we're diving into a coin that might seem utterly ordinary, but don't let its humble appearance fool you. The 1991 Lincoln penny is a fascinating example of how even the most everyday items can hide remarkable stories and value. It's a coin that has been exchanged millions of times, yet only a very few are known to carry a secret that collectors dream about. Take a moment to picture this penny, copper-colored, small enough to fit comfortably in your hand, featuring the familiar, stoic profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Lincoln's image has been a staple on the penny for over a century, a symbol of honesty, perseverance, and unity. On the reverse side, there's the Lincoln Memorial, standing as a tribute to the nation's enduring values. It's an image we've all seen countless times, but this particular penny is far from ordinary. In 1991, the United States Mint was working at an incredible pace, producing billions of pennies to meet the needs of a growing country. The coin presses worked day and night, churning out these little copper discs with incredible speed and precision. Yet, with such massive production, tiny errors occasionally slipped through, errors that transformed some pennies into rare, highly sought-after treasures. One such error is called the double die. Unlike a glaring mistake, the double die is subtle, almost ghost-like. It happens when the coin's design is stamped more than once with slight misalignment, creating a faint but unmistakable doubling of the date and letters on the coin. On the 1991 Lincoln penny, this effect is most noticeable around the date and the word Liberty. If you don't know what you're looking for, this double die might pass right under your nose. But collectors who have trained their eyes know exactly how to spot this rare variety. It's a small anomaly, a whisper of imperfection that sets these coins apart from millions of their peers. What makes the 1991 double die penny especially extraordinary is not just the presence of this minting quirk, it's the condition in which some of these pennies have been found. Most pennies from that era have been worn smooth by the constant handling and circulation of everyday life. But a handful of these double die pennies have been preserved in astonishingly pristine condition, unblemished, with sharp details and brilliant original luster. These coins, known as mint state coins, look as though they just came off the minting press yesterday. No scratches, no discoloration, no signs of wear. Finding a double die penny in this condition is extremely rare, and collectors prize them as some of the most valuable modern era coins. Why is this coin so coveted? Because it represents a moment of unexpected beauty and uniqueness born from a tiny imperfection in a massive, mechanical process. It's a reminder that even in the most routine, mass-produced objects, there's room for surprise and rarity. Collectors love the 1991 double-die penny because it's not just about owning a coin, it's about owning a piece of history, a tangible link to the minting process and the human element behind it. It's a conversation starter, a source of pride, and often a smart investment. The demand for these coins has grown steadily over time, as more collectors recognize the rarity and allure of this era. This growing interest has sent the value of the 1991 double-die penny soaring to incredible heights, but let's take a moment to reflect on what makes a coin valuable in the first place. It's a combination of rarity, condition, demand, and the story it tells. The 1991 penny with its double-die error ticks all these boxes perfectly. It's rare because only a tiny fraction were ever made with this doubling. It's valuable because many examples were lost or damaged over time. It's highly sought after because collectors love error coins with a story behind them. Now, imagine the excitement of finding one of these coins unexpectedly. Picture yourself sorting through a handful of pennies, when suddenly your eye catches something unusual, a subtle doubling on the date, a shadow around the letters. The thrill of discovery floods in. This is what draws collectors in, time and again, and once you find it, what do? Protecting a coin like this is crucial. Many collectors invest in professional grading services that authenticate and preserve the coin's condition, ensuring its value is recognized and maintained over time. It becomes more than just a penny, it's a prized artifact, and now, here comes the reveal that might just surprise you. A 1991 Lincoln penny featuring this rare double-die error, preserved in flawless mint state condition, holds an astonishing value of $64,000. Yes. $64,000 for a single penny. It's a staggering figure that challenges everything we think we know about value. A coin so small, so everyday, can command such a price, proving that in the world of collectibles, the most ordinary objects can become extraordinary treasures. So, next time you dig through a jar of pennies or empty your pockets, take a moment to examine the coins more closely. Look for those subtle signs, those tiny quirks, because you might be holding a hidden gem, a slice of history, or even your ticket to an incredible discovery. Coins like the 1991 double-die penny remind us that value isn't always obvious. Sometimes it takes a keen eye, a bit of knowledge, and a little patience to find something truly priceless. Every coin has a story. And sometimes, that story is worth thousands. Next rare coin we are talking about is a fascinating piece from 1986, a Lincoln penny that, at first glance, looks like any other coin you might find in your pocket or scattered across a tabletop. Yet, this humble penny hides a captivating story, one that transforms it from everyday currency into a rare collectible that commands serious attention from coin enthusiasts and collectors alike. In 1986, the United States Mint was producing pennies in staggering quantities. These pennies were meant to be the workhorses of American currency, durable, reliable, and ready to pass through millions of hands without a second thought. But despite the mint's rigorous quality control and the high-speed production process, a handful of coins slipped through with unique characteristics that have become highly sought after. What makes the 1986 penny so intriguing isn't just its age or design, but the unexpected errors and anomalies that appeared on some of these coins. These errors might be imperceptible to the casual observer, but for collectors, they are signals of rarity and value. One of the standout features to look for is the double-die error. Imagine the coin's design being stamped not once, but twice, slightly misaligned during the second strike. This creates a fascinating effect where letters and numbers appear doubled or shadowed. On the 1986 penny, this doubling is often visible on the date and the word "Liberty." The subtlety of this doubling can be tricky to spot, requiring a keen eye or magnification, but once identified, it's a clear hallmark of rarity. This doubling isn't just a random mistake, it tells a story about the minting process and the machinery involved. Each coin is struck by steel dies, and if the die itself was misaligned during creation, every coin it produced could carry that double design. But the tricky part is that the mint catches most of these mistakes early, so coins with this error are relatively rare and valuable. Another fascinating minting anomaly to watch for in 1986 pennies is the off-center strike. This error occurs when the coin blank doesn't line up perfectly under the press, resulting in part of the design being missing or shifted off the coin's edge. The severity of off-center strikes can vary, from barely noticeable shifts to extreme misalignments where only a fraction of Lincoln's profile or the Lincoln Memorial remains. These visually striking coins are more than just curiosities, they're prized possessions for collectors because of their uniqueness and scarcity. Apart from errors, the coin's condition hugely impacts its value. A circulated penny, one that's been used in everyday transactions and shows signs of wear, scratches, and discoloration, generally remains worth face value or slightly more. But finding a 1986 penny in mint state condition, where it looks fresh from the mint, with sharp details and brilliant luster, is quite rare. Such coins haven't been touched by circulation and have maintained their original beauty, making them highly desirable to collectors. The true magic of this penny lies in the intersection of these factors, rare mint errors combined with exceptional condition. When these align, a coin once destined to be overlooked becomes a prized collectible. It transforms into a tangible piece of history, frozen in time, reflecting the craftsmanship and quirks of a particular minting year. What makes the journey of this penny even more compelling is the story of discovery. Collectors often describe the moment they recognize an error or a perfect specimen as thrilling, like uncovering a hidden treasure in plain sight. This excitement, the hunt, and the joy of possession are what fuel the passion behind numismatics. In recent years, the collector market for coins like the 1986 Lincoln penny has grown exponentially. Online marketplaces, coin forums, and social media communities have made it easier for collectors to find, share, and trade rare coins, increasing awareness and demand. As more people discover these unique pennies, competition drives their value steadily upward. So, what is the true value of an exceptional 1986 Lincoln penny that features a major double die, significant off-center strike, or other notable mint errors, and remains in near-perfect mint state condition? Here's the reveal. Such a coin can be valued at an astounding $69,000. This impressive figure reflects the coin's rarity, condition, and the passion of collectors who recognize its significance. It's a powerful reminder that value isn't always obvious on the surface. Sometimes, the most extraordinary treasures are hiding in the most ordinary places. The 1986 Lincoln penny teaches us that history, chance, and craftsmanship collide in the tiniest details, details that can turn a simple coin into a priceless artifact. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone casually curious about coins, this penny is proof that the world of numismatics is full of surprises. So next time you're handed pennies and change, pause and take a closer look. With a little knowledge and a keen eye, that ordinary-looking coin might just be the key to uncovering something truly extraordinary, because in the realm of coin collecting, the smallest things often hold the greatest stories, and the biggest rewards. Next expensive and top 1 coin we're exploring today is the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, and this one might just leave you speechless. Now, I know we've already seen some rare and valuable coins in today's video. But this final penny? It stands above the rest, not because it looks different at first glance, but because of how masterfully it hides its rarity. It doesn't shine like silver or glimmer like gold. It's not oversized, odd-shaped, or ancient. It's just a regular-looking 1-cent coin, the kind that millions of people walk past without a second thought. But underneath that ordinary appearance lies an extraordinary story. Let's start by setting the scene. It's 1988. The U.S. Mint is operating at full capacity. Billions of pennies are being struck and released into circulation. From a production point of view, it's just another year, a year like any other. But somewhere in the middle of all that minting madness, a tiny mistake is made. A mistake that would go unnoticed by nearly everyone, except for the most observant coin collectors. That mistake. A mismatched die, specifically, the reverse die. You see, dies are the metal stamps used to strike the design onto coins. The obverse die carries Lincoln's portrait. The reverse die shows the Lincoln Memorial, along with the tiny designer initials, FG, just to the right of the building. In 1988, the G in those initials had a sharp little hook, known as a serif. In 1989, the design was modified ever so slightly. The serif was removed, and the G became smooth and modern-looking. Somehow, in 1988, a few of those newer 1989 reverse dies were accidentally used to strike pennies. The result? A rare and subtle variation, a 1988 penny with the reverse of a 1989 coin. To the untrained eye, this coin looks identical to every other penny from that year. But to collectors, that single difference, the shape of a letter less than a millimeter tall, is everything. What makes this error so incredible is how easy it would have been to miss forever. This wasn't a major strike misalignment. This wasn't an obvious doubling of the date. This was a near invisible change to a tiny set of initials. And yet, somehow, someone spotted it. And once it was confirmed, the hunt began. Collectors all over the country began examining their 1988 pennies, searching for the smooth G that would unlock the mystery. And as more people looked, the rarity of this error became clearer. Very few examples were ever found. And even fewer were in excellent condition. Now, condition always plays a massive role in a coin's value. If you find one of these rare 1988 reverse of 1989 pennies that's been through decades of circulation, scratched, worn, or discolored, it's still valuable. But if you manage to find one in brilliant, untouched mint state condition, with full copper-red luster, razor-sharp detail, and no signs of handling, that's when things get really exciting. Coins like that are not just rare, they're elite. They sit at the highest tier of collector demand. They're the kind of coins that make headlines when discovered. The kind that become the centerpiece of entire collections, and this is where the story gets even more fascinating. Most people don't even know this variety exists. You could hold it in your hand and never realize its true value. That's the beauty of this coin, it hides in plain sight. No shine, no flash, no warning. Just a common-looking penny with an uncommon twist. The value of this coin is driven by that perfect storm of conditions, a true minting mistake, extremely low survival rate, and high-grade preservation. That combination is what sends collectors into a frenzy and pushes prices higher than most would ever expect from a simple 1-cent piece. And if you're thinking this coin might be impossible to find, think again. There are still examples out there. Still coins sitting in jars, hidden in change drawers, or resting in forgotten penny rolls, just waiting to be discovered. And every time a new one is found, the collector community takes notice, because when it comes to modern coin errors, the 1988 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny with the reverse of 1989 has earned a place at the very top. So now, after everything we've talked about, the big question is, what's it worth? If you're lucky enough to find one of these coins in near-perfect condition, with no wear and a verified reverse of 1989 error, its value can soar up to $80,000. That's right, $80,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe that something so small, something so easy to miss, could be worth so much. But that's exactly what makes this coin so powerful. It proves that value isn't always obvious. Sometimes, it's hidden in the details, in the history, the accident, and the story behind the strike. And that brings us to the end of today's video, a journey through 6 ordinary-looking coins with truly extraordinary worth. From small minting errors to perfect preservation, each of these pennies proves that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. So before you toss the next penny aside, take a second look. Because the rarest treasures aren't always locked in vaults or displayed in museums. Sometimes, they're hiding right in your hand, quietly waiting for someone to notice, and who knows? You just might be the next person to uncover a coin that changes everything. Thanks for joining us on this journey through some of the most surprising and valuable pennies out there. Hopefully, today's finds showed you just how much hidden value could be sitting in your spare change. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future updates. We share daily content filled with rare coins, collecting tips, and hidden treasures you won't want to miss. Drop a comment below. Tell us your favorite coin from today's video, or share your own rare find. We love hearing from fellow collectors, and remember, the next valuable coin could be closer than you think, maybe in a drawer, a coin jar, or your next bit of change.